is that after making a mistake, we need to face up to it. We need to tell the truth. That is integrity, telling the truth and honoring promises no matter the consequences.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Oh! Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations. It's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. 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 I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny. Call me a god. Call me a god. Call me a god.
I'm called of God. Called of God. And Tim Ballard told me he'd been called of God. Some wild-eyed prophet like...
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I
I had to unmute myself. Almost had it. We almost had it. We have it. We have it. What's up, everybody? How's it going? How was your Christmas? How was your Christmas, everybody? Thank you, Suze. My thumbnails, right? I made like 20 of them, 1 through 20. And now I couldn't find them, so I just made another one. That's so crazy. That's what I'm doing. Hopefully, maybe the turn of the new year. I'm just gonna say hopefully because I try not to put it out there. You know what I mean? Like I just try to, like, if you're gonna quit smoking or you're gonna lose weight or you're gonna quit whatever, then you usually just, I learned you don't squill on yourself. You basically just do it. You just don't tell anybody. You just do it. And then nobody's like, well, I thought you quit smoking or whatever. I ride my own ass. I don't need anybody else to do it. But anyways, 16 likes so far. All right. 47 people. Come on. We're going to just get into some more Chad. And I do have to show y'all something. I put it back in the box so that so I could show it to you how I got it. Let's see. Let me change my little layout here real quick. But hold on. Layouts. Let's do this. There we go. Makes it easier for editing. But anyways, so we went to my mom and Larry's, for Christmas, and just be bopping around, and when I got there, Mom was like, "Hey, come talk to me in the room." And I was like, "Okay, okay." So I did, and she was like, "This is not your Christmas present. We don't," because she was like, "We don't buy gifts for the adults," and she doesn't. They don't buy Christmas gifts for adults. They get them for the grandkids, and they. And so I'm like, "What?" I hate surprises because I'm just like, it's the shock value. I can't do it. The little Jack in the Box. Dun, 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 I used to be like this. Balloons, a kid's playing with balloons. I'm just like, oh, it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. Anyway, so she gave me this, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, hold on, I'll show you just a second. Straightening it up. Allegedly. Anyways. Okay. Right? I was like, well, it's rather beefy, right? Okay. Well, and she was like, JJ's in there. And I was like, oh my God. So JJ's, some of his remains are right here inside this box, or inside the cross. And I feel so honored, honestly. So I'm gonna put it back on. But anyways, well, I gotta get a better chain because this is weird. This is weird. Yeah, it's way too low, too long. Anyways, if I can do it again. This is fun, right? Oh my gosh. I'll do it the old school way. Oh my God. Okay. Now I see. Whew. Goodness. And it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? I'm joking. And I put it on backwards, and it's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, so I don't know. I just feel honored, What a crazy, crazy time, right? Okay, let me put that somewhere. Anyways, thank you. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, there's a lot of things that have gone on. Always. It's always, we have Jody Hildebrandt that just pled guilty, like Chad should. Will he, Then we have, what happened to Ruby Frankie, how she pled guilty, basically rolled on to, rolled over on Jody, and then kind of pressured her. So I see how that works now. I always was like, well, how's that going to work? But, I've just been reading more and more into the David Hamblin case with Gordon Bowen. With it's sus. It's sus as all get out, and I'm just like, there's something there. I feel like a cadaver dog or something, and I'm just like, I'm hitting on it. And I'm like, there's some here. Well, it is. It is. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the denial or the nothing to see here. Nothing. Everything's great. Everybody's great. We're all great. I don't know what it is, but I mean, well, I've got some family tied up in it, but it is very interesting. And so it is nice to run across people who also, who are non-Mormon or never been Mormon or whatever. And for whatever reason, you follow this little niche, this little genre. It's very specific. and it's so complex. So it just, I mean, it wow, it consumes you if you let it. Man, I am like I'm swollen. So I apologize. I feel like a chipmunk. Oh, Shanna Gardner. Yeah, totally. Totally. That reminds me so much of Melanie Boudreau Pulaski and Brandon Boudreau, how I'm just like, oh, that's an alleged conspiracy. I mean, just say alleged. But thank you, Facebook user. That's how it shows up. Thank you. It goes back to you too. What are y'all doing for New Year's? Any partying? I used to. I used to. Um, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's quite the controversy. Even more. It's quite actually it just matches the rest of the story. That's why, whenever my family members were murdered and there's all this crazy stuff coming out of two people who fell in lust, Chad and Lori. And you're like, okay, that's some crazy shit. So, you know, I mean, I knew her before. I never knew Chad, but he really doesn't look very, very, very entertaining. Not much of a personality. I don't see it. She sees something that I don't, that we don't. I'm speaking for everybody. But I just knew, I'm like, okay, zombies. Um, the vibrations, the energy healing, the just all the things, the Church of the Firstborn, all these ideas, all these things, and you're just like, that doesn't stop right there. It doesn't just stop with Chad and Lori, and they've been in prison. Okay, they both been in jail or prison or whatever. They've been locked. They've been behind bars for quite some time, and it's still happening. So you're just like, yeah, definitely. Here's your sign. It's not just Chad and Lori. It did not stop. It was not just them. Like everybody would want everybody who, you know, it's got to be difficult, but everybody who is Mormon, who is doing the best that they can, being the best people that they can. I'm never talking about you. I'm never, ever, ever targeting you or trying to, tear down you. I'm not persecuting you. I am just trying to figure out the rest of the story because it does not just, it doesn't just involve Chad and Lori. This is a huge ass conspiracy, in my opinion. Huge. And whatever, I don't have the wherewithal to sit there and I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but yet here I am going down all these stupid little ass roads that I'm just like, what the hell? Where am I? Where am I? Why, how did I get here? How did we get here? And then I always try to keep them in mind. Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. I'm like, would they would they be satisfied if I just said, oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's your story and you're sticking to it. Okay. Yeah. Totes, no, I don't think so. Cause it's still happening. So I just want to get to the root of the problem and whatever that is, I'm here for it. I don't really know if I should say that because I usually get served, by karma. Life's like, here you go. Here you go. And I'm like, oh shit. Anyways. Oh, thank you. It's just, it doesn't hurt. I mean, it does. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of brain space and time away, just researching, reading everything that I can. My eyes are effed bad, and I've gained about 80 pounds, because I'm not mobile. And I need to be. So that's something that I am going to work on. I am now. this is getting ridiculous. I'm the weight I was when I gave birth. And there's no baby at the end of it, you know? There's no baby. Right. Oh, Lord, Jean. She says, damn, Crush, I live among Mormons. I experienced most of them as on the edge of Lori. Oh, my God. So, see, we're doing the right thing here. I think so. Jean, let's do it for Jean and everybody that lives in among Mormons, you know. Oh, man. But that really does. The rare Mormon is genuinely kind and compassionate. Right. When used to well, I say used to. I would think that from just the never being a Mormon, never being in this culture, didn't even know that my Uncle Charles was Mormon, didn't know that they were Mormon. Didn't know. It was a non-issue. And so like this is how I imagine it, you know. So the rare Mormon, I was gonna say the rare Mormon back then, and so I know this is kind of silly for even saying it, but a rare Mormon in my mind, I guess, would be one who's extreme. But that's really more common than your, you know, genuine, kind, compassionate, chill, just there to do humanity, you know, just humaning, right? I don't know. That's just my take. Thank you, Beyonce. Oh, why am I clicking that? I'm clicking the damn banner itself. So, yeah, and so I had talked about Gordon Bowen last y'all, I forgot Tuesday. I thought it was Saturday. I thought Tuesday was Saturday. I was just do. Y'all know I don't have a concept of time. And so Christmas was Monday. So this week will probably be all jacked up for me again too, and I'm just ready to get back to it. No, I've never been a Mormon. No, but I know a lot. I just am not very good at articulating it, and it kind of mixes with my personality, and you know, it comes out all jumbled up, and because it's a lot of information to have to cram and try to alert people. You know, you're like, hey, it's right there, you know, and then you want to know how, or I wanted to know how I get from here to here, and I want to be able to leave a bread trail or whatever, breadcrumbs, so that I can get us there. I just point. I can just point and say, here, this is this. Do whatever you will with it. It'll be what it's going to be. I always knew it was bigger. It always felt bigger. A long time ago, I whenever Lori walked into the courtroom, I feel like I'm on the Golden Girls, and I'm like, you know, picture it, Sicily, you know, like that. But when Lori walked into the courtroom in Idaho for the first time, when she was extradited from Hawaii to Idaho, having to produce Tylee and JJ within 5 days, right? And my parents were there, and my family, a lot of my family's there. Colby was there, you know, my Uncle Charles's sons were there. It just, and then the whole world is there, you know, because of the pandemic. I was able to watch it via Zoom. Thank God, you know. But so she just pranced in there with her shoulders back, confident, chin up. I mean, she was confident. She strutted in there with a pep in her step. I mean, she was bouncing, you know, and just looking down on everybody, and too confident for the stuff that she's in, you know. And it just, that threw me out, because that's when I was like, that's the day that my Aunt Lori died. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, I don't know who that is. She is, I don't know. She's a carcass. She is a zombie. That's what this is. It's projection. And so whatever and I say whatever people like Chad and Lori are barking about or bitching about, um or mm, shaming you for, you know, uh I mean, and that's what I see. This is just how I see it. I see the church as like this big, just picture it as if it's one entity, like it is, but it's just this one brain, one, there's no heart, but there's just a brain. and, and I mean, it does what it has to do. Yes, it is corporate, but I look at it as if it's like a narcissistic parent. Let's just go ahead and, since it's all patriarchal, let's just say it's a narcissistic father, and mom's gone. Okay. And yeah, you see where the narcissist, and I don't know all these terms either. This is just me just slapping stuff together, trying to make sense out of the nonsensical. And it's basically like how the narcissist parent will turn the children, their own children, against one another. And you have the scapegoat, I think, and then you have like the black sheep. It's usually where I hang out. Um, and it pits everybody against one another. All the while, it's evading any responsibility or acknowledgement of its own wrong, of its own. I'm not even gonna say wrongdoing. Let's just say mishaps, shortcomings. Everybody has them. And if you'll notice, like people like Timothy Ballard, people, pretty much every Mormon I've come across that's pretty much like true blue. And I really haven't come across any that are like just out there defending Chad and Lori. I mean, they're borderline, and boy, I watch them like a hawk. Y'all know I do. But there's not many that I can recall that I'm just like, oh hell no, all my hearings. No. And then maybe I just don't see. Maybe they shut up when I walk by. I don't know. But I'm sure there is a lot of that, because there used to be a lot of Mormons here until, I kind of I had to pick. And I mean, I say I had to pick. I had to say, okay, I have got to move this forward. I've got to move this forward and stop worrying about, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I can't tiptoe around it. If I do that, I'll still be way the hell back there, just being like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to piss you off, but I have a job here, and this is what I vowed to do. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to damn do it. But, it's interesting. Interesting. Huh? Who's that? Okay, golden child, scapegoat, caretaker, and rebellious person. I'm a little bit of all. All of them. Really. Hey, Natalie, how are you doing? High control, religion, or relationships? It kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, again, I've never really, I took basic psychology in college, but that was a long time ago. It was interesting, I was interested in it, but not interested enough to like make a career out of it. I don't ever know what I want to do. I like researching, but I don't know what I'm doing really. I'm like, that goes here, this goes there. So Gordon Bowen. All right. Let me I know we got to do Chad though. We'll never have to do Chad. Let me take those words back. Cheers. Definitely need healing. Yeah. Steve Hassan's study on cults include the authoritarian cult, high control, high demand. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. But so I had read to y'all about, what do y'all want to do? Y'all want to talk about Chad? I mean, we can talk about all of them. It's all the same thing. Just know that it's the whole movement is one. It there is no separation. Not for me. I've always struggled with that. Always. Yes, the 501c3s. It freaks me out. Yo, I did see where Tim Ballard had filed a motion to strike, right? A motion to strike. He's saying that Celeste, one of the 5 women or 7, however many, that filed a lawsuit against him. She obtained documents illegally, and he wants them struck. Whatever. So, yeah. People use religion as a responsibility dodge. Yeah. And so I get that. I do. I see that. I didn't see it before. I didn't see a lot of things before. I just wasn't aware of the things. Oh, okay. When is Chad's next court hearing? It is. Hold on, I gotta think. It's January 30th, right? Hold on, I got the calendar in my phone. Donna called me this morning. And I was like, "What? What? There's a hearing today? Oh shit, let's go!" I made a calendar, but let's see. Yeah, sync now. Sync. I might be getting a new phone, upgrading. Financed or whatever. I need one with more storage. This. I'm like, Jason, really? When he's only got 120 something gigabyte of whatever storage, and I'm just like, why didn't you tell me that? I thought I was getting at least 256 or whatever it is. Okay, there we go. Lots of screenshots yesterday. My goodness. So what I was trying to do was edit down that video that I had shared. But my reading is so bad towards the end of it for sure, because I'm just like tired and I'm just throwing sentences and I'm comprehending it as I go. So I'm like, good Lord, girl. So I have been working on some editing. I went to, I have one video ready. It's in Rush, Adobe Rush. I kind of flip them back and forth. I go from one app to another, depending on what app does this and what app does that. So anyways, I can't find it. I think it's January 30th. Excuse me. I'll have to find out whenever I can pay attention to it and not leave y'all quiet. Okay, there it is. It is okay, January 1st, 2024 is the deadline for the defense attorney for, Chad, to file for a written notice. It must be given at least 90 days in advance of a trial if a party intends to raise issue of mental health, mental condition, defense, or whatever, mental health. January 18th, 2024, Lori pretrial conference for Arizona, Maricopa County. January 30th, 2024, Chad Daybell pretrial conference hearing in Fremont County. Then we got Jody, and then we got Ruby on February 20th. And then February 21st, we have Lori Vallow comprehensive pretrial conference hearing in the state of Arizona to see if they're going to move the trial date out 270 more days or not. Hopefully they do, or I don't know. And then February 22nd, so it's going to be like the 20th, 21st, 22nd of February. Mark your calendars, okay? Excuse me. It's just another conference hearing for Chad. February 22nd, 2024. Excuse me, god dang. Taking in a lot of air or something. All right, March 28th is Lori Vallow pretrial conference. Yeah, I just put the wrong picture there. And then April 1st, Chad Daybell's trial begins. April 4th, Lori's trial begins. February 22nd, 2020. Wait, what the hell? Oh, I didn't put it up there. Okay. All right. Nothing. Anyways, so the next hearing for Chad is on the 30th. Yeah. He's going to plead guilty. I mean, he's going to plead. And I'm just like, when do you think's like this is me asking Jason, who is also not a professional. He's not an expert. He's not even a lawyer. So we're just coon asses who guess on stuff. Okay. So he was like, I want to say he said it would be after this next hearing, like just kind of to fill it out, I guess. Like that's what Chad would be doing, like and he said, and Jason was like, and that's if he didn't piss Rob off too bad, because I do know that they offered plea bargains before. Lori allegedly seemed more apt to take it. Chad allegedly was like, no, thank you. So there's that. This was this was before Lori's trial. So that was so earlier this year. Oh, anyways, okay. I'm stammering around here. Okay. I don't know what to do. Like, I have got the preliminary hearing pulled up, or I just really, let me expound on this real quick. And it has to do with, Gordon Bowen, because it's all this ilk, this group of people, they all, in my opinion, this all the chain of command. If I had to just put a chart, just boom, 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 boom. I mean, don't come at me. Okay. This is just me just trying to be point blank with you, which I stammer with because I feel like the mob's going to come after me. I do have 3 dead family members back here, and I have a Jesus card left in my living room. Do I need to say more? Anyways, and okay. So if I had to, can I start at the bottom? No, I'll start at the top. The top would have been, allegedly. This is just a hypothesis. This is no accusations flying. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Ha ha ha. Okay. So up here, the tip top, you have Elder Ballard. And by way of Tim Ballard, Jason Mel, Chad Daybell. I mean, it's not that far. Okay. All right. But then there's all these other elements that go into that. A lot of elements that go into that. There's all these billionaires and millionaires and just all these philanthropists and all these well-off dudes that are in the good graces of the church. Like Gordon Bowen and David Hamblin and Tom Harrison. I mean, I read that last week to you guys from Goel. Goel is the name. It's a weird name, but that's the name. That's his name. That's his username. It's like your handle name here. We got some silly ones, But so he goes by Goel, Go space EL. And I know that him and I don't know for sure, but I mean, this is my take on it. Goel was hired to basically look into the Hamblin case from back in the 90s. And so this was part of the Satanic panic, so to speak. And it's some horrible, horrible, horrible abuse of the Hamblin daughters who they're not backing down. They're not they're not just taking it, sitting down. They are fighting. And I'm super proud of them. If they're ever around, I just really do. I look up to people like that who don't give up and who fight. And don't take no for an answer in a good way, in a determined way. That's how this continues to flourish, and well, I say flourish. That's how it continues to spread, like the disease that it is, and the cancer that it is. It's nasty, and it's got to be stopped. And there has to be better procedures at going at this. At prosecuting these cases, these child CA cases, SA cases. There's got to be. And so that's a big element to why there were not a lot of people held accountable back in the time of the Satanic Panic. Okay. If anything, I don't think that I'm so much a conspiracy theorist. I really am just like, well, I mean, people are very quick to label things. Very, very. I've learned that. I'm like, what? What? I don't get it. I'm trying to, but I just wasn't. That's not how I was raised, and so it's like having to adapt to this whole other culture, of just labeling things, and labels tend to distance people, or they click up, and then you got Pete over there standing by himself. Nobody's picking Pete. And Pete wants to play too, and we should just be fair and nice human beings, like we should. And anyways, so I mean, yeah. So yeah, the case, and it involves a lot of your upper echelons of not just the Mormon church, but in this case, yes, just the Mormon church. I'm talking counselors, therapists that are named in the victim statements. Let me know if you want to look at those. I can make them available on Substack or Patreon. They are very triggering and explicit, and you just be like, what the hell? Thank you, Beach Bomb. Happy New Year to you too, sister. I love you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. You are awesome. And I always love the sea turtle. It always reminds me of Tylee. I think I told you that a long time ago. That's awesome. Next door loved the God Complex song. I played loud and proud. They asked me where to get it. Crushes reaching around the world. Yay, we're worldwide. I feel like I'm on Step Brothers. Anyways. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So what I find interesting is how the rules seem to apply to church members, but they don't apply to the leaders. And I find that very, very, very troublesome, and it's just toxic. And I just want to get to the bottom of it. And so what I find disturbing, one of the things that I find disturbing, is the fact that whenever Goel reported in his latest publication, after I finished reading that one with you guys, Sunday or whatever day it was, Thursday, he had came out with another one. And I mean, I thought it wasn't going to be massive or anything. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. Whew. There's not enough water. But it was on Merry Christmas. It was on Christmas Eve, and he's sick with COVID, so we hope he feels better soon. And he just made a joke, and then he just goes into, I'm just going to read like the first paragraph. He says, we often here I go. See, starting out the gate. We often mythologize the devil and his minions, but as the meme says, those minions, I'm not going to repeat that. Yeah, let's not repeat that. He says, so he's basically like, here, I'm talking some trash, so here. And it's a good segue into take Gordon Bowen, the alleged Church of Satan High Council Punisher. a closeted gay man who had to rely on pilfering homeless men and young teenage boys because he couldn't handle the challenge of a functioning woman or another gay man. By all accounts, Gordon Bowen is a pathetic human being, one who had to rely on stealing credit from his co-workers at Bonneville, Ogilvy Mather, Young, and Rubicam, and McCann Erickson in order to build his reputation as an advertising genius. When he was confronted by his peers about his endless lying and manipulation, Gordon Bowen was reduced to a quivering mess in the backseat of a car, whimpering that he'd stop playing both sides against the middle. Right? Well, anyways, this dude is, if I had to give out a douche canoe award for the whole century, it would go to this dude here because he's, yeah, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Not so great. And what's crazy, or what's would just I can't wrap my mind around it, is he's been excommunicated from the church twice, for sure once, rebaptized, and then he's been excommunicated since 2004. And I mean, everybody pretty much knows he's he is a gay man, and he tends to think that, or again, this seems to be and I mean, I'm so interested in the human behavioral side of it, again, I'm not a professional. I'm just here trying to figure out my family, why they were murdered, or why this continues to go and grow and continue. Well, I mean, there are accusations in the victim reports of Gordon Bowen. Actually, the Hamblin daughters have reported, and I'm just paraphrasing, okay? It's complex and it's egregious as all get out. But it's ritual. I'm gonna have to say the abbreviations because, good God, you can't just say what the hell is on your mind or whatever. Can't talk like a big person. God. That's why I talk Ebonics. Okay. They were SA'd, allegedly. Their dad did admit to some of it. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and I'm just trying to do vagary right now. Just blanket it. And there were accusations of their mom, Rosie Hamblin, David Hamblin. They were married. And David's dad his name was Robert Hamblin, and he was a sociologist. And I find this very fascinating because it is. And I understand in the context of normal freaking functioning professional people that what I'm about to say is just, well, that's just normal. Not with these people. With these people, it is not normal. Know that it is to the extreme opposite. It's Jody Hildebrandt. It's David Hamblin. It's Maurice Harker. It's Tom Harrison. It's all those things rolled up into one. Okay. And I mean, the faster I get this out, the faster I can move on with my life. Right. So, and where was that? All right. So, Robert Hamblin was a sociologist, and Goel, through reading Goel's investigations into ritual ABUSE, the A word, oh my God, his publication is called Substack. On Substack is called Investigations into Ritual A Word. And that throws me all off, man. So, sociologist, and I remember he produced like the his sources and everything for, as I've been reading into the Hamblin case and all the people surrounding it, because there are a lot of people, like allegedly, like David Levitt. He was oh my God, I'm trying to figure that situation out. Let me try not to side tangent too much. David Levitt, then you have Nicholas Rossi. I'm like, how is one chasing another one? What's up with that? I don't get that. And so Rossi is over in Scotland. So is David Levitt. Actually, David Shalom. I don't know how to say her damn name. His wife, David, and his wife, and the baby that they kind of didn't adopt correctly. They, took her out of country to Scotland where they bought a castle, because that's just the Utah. I'm just like, what? A whole castle, a whole freaking castle. And it was on Dateline, and Dateline took the damn episode down like they did with Mommy Doomsday or whatever, with the kids, with My Family Story. There's that whole missing Dateline. Where are the children? I think it was, maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm like, Dateline? Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But it was about Nicholas Rossi and how Nicholas Rossi basically he was A-worded, but he also A-worded other people. And then he allegedly skipped over to England or just over the pond. I don't really know. And to keep the story going, let's go. And so Corona happened, the virus happened. And then all of a sudden, he's married, and then, excuse me, and then they're alleging that he faked his death and that he is actually Arthur Knight. And Arthur Knight is like, he's got this mask, he's got all these rigs on, okay? The more the merrier. It's so it's to me, I'm just like, oh Lord, geez, they are extra sometimes. But he's denying that he is Arthur. He's like, no, I'm Arthur Knight. And he talks in an accent and everything. And it's nuts. It's freaking nuts. And I'm like, well, why is David Levitt chasing him when he's pot, I'm kettle, and that's what's really got me thrown. So I'm like, well, what I have learned from all these people, the special ones, the ones that we find interesting, is that they like to smear. They have smear campaigns. They do seem to blackmail and really just they assassinate. They attack the character of the person. I've seen this happen even last night when I watched Janet Russin, Tim Psychic, on the Last Dispensation Mormon channel from Troy Abels is his name. I mean, this time they had another one of the ops who's actually in a picture. I mean, I had found him a long time ago, y'all. I can't say his name because he's from Hawaii and he's Hawaiian descent. My stepmom was from there too. But I used to say Hawaiian Chinese. I don't think that's right to say now, but that's what I was taught to say back then. But his name starts with a K. It sounds like Vince Kiakamanu, like the Fremont County sheriff guy, Vince Kiakamanu. It looks kind of like that, but it's not. So I'm just gonna call him K. And so he was on The Last Dispensation last night with Janet Russin, and at first I was like, Then I listened to it again, and I was like, oh no, poke, 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 poke. And they just trash talked Paul Hutchinson. They trash talked one of the alleged victims in Tim Ballard's, that's filed suit against Tim Ballard. There's never going to be a trial. And I don't know if people don't understand that because it's civil. And it took me, I didn't really even think about it. So I was like, well, this isn't he's not innocent until proven guilty. There's never going to be that because it's civil, and civil's different than criminal. Criminal is, you have, you're innocent until proven guilty. So it's basically that, but they'd have to settle, and I mean, that's that. It's just, I don't know. There's just really no way of knowing, but it sure is interesting, the information that we have gotten out. And a lot of that Tim is wanting to suppress. He's wanting to strike. He's motioning to strike. And it's interesting. Yeah, there's so many things that I could say. I mean, that just I took notes and notes and notes. But Tom Harrison, according to Goel's reporting on his Substack into the Hamblin case, in the Hamblin case is Gordon Bowen. Gordon Bowen is alleged to have, he's the punisher of the, and Goel calls it the Church of Satan because the victims call it the Church of Satan. That's what they say this is. It's like they're part of this, whatever. I don't know what to call it. Okay. And I'm not trying to run anybody off. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not trying to, give people opportunities to make fun of me. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know what I'm looking at. It's odd and it's weird. And I'm just trying to make sense of it. This is what they identify as Church of Satan. And so basically what it is these people that infiltrate. I'm gonna use thank you, Denise. No. I'm gonna use Tim's words. He says infiltrate, and I can't stand the way he says it. Civil still go to court like Alex Jones did. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't make it that far. Civil cases can still go to court, but they often settle and have the details sealed. Usually, okay, right? Because I was like, oh crap, when this first came out, when the lawsuits first came out against him and OUR and all the other people. Now the Sean Reyes, I'm sorry, that's oh my gosh. The lawsuit against Sean Reyes. Remember how long that sucker was? It has been dismissed because he apologized. And whom, the something Whitehead was her last name. Hey, verbal resolution, right? Right. Usually, in the way Tim operates, it's non-disclosure agreements, just like Daddy, Daddy Church. Thank you. Very insightful. Very insightful. Yeah, it's good to see you, Denise. Civil, no pleading the fifth, depositions will happen. And so that's how I've learned that, like Lynn Packer, who's been, bussing, he's just, whatever his motives are, I'm just like, I just applaud. Thank you for your service. Lynn, I mean, he's just a very professional guy, and he's old school. I like that. I love that. We need more old school kind of people to teach us too. I learn from watching people. I learn from what they're doing. I've always been like that. But anyway, so Lynn, that's how he does this too. I've noticed that any reaction, like he had went on Mormon Stories podcast and he was like, I've been like trying to get Elder Ballard to respond. I've been trying to get Tim to respond, and neither of them would respond. Here you go. This comes out, and then here's the church responding right out the gate. They're like, oh hell, and they're just cutting court. Like I said, it's like Fun with Dick and Jane, the movie, whenever the statistics went down, the stock market crashed and everybody's running with the ficuses and they're shredding paper and just, it's a madhouse. That's what I imagine. And a lot of how it was whenever Chad and Lori, all the crap came out about Chad and Lori, and they were like, oh crap, don't tell your bishops this, don't do this and do that, don't talk about multiple mortal probations, and don't talk about energy healing. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what the hell we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about that over and over again. So here we are 4 years later. How you doing? And anyway, so here we are. And so whatever they're pretty much blaming, whatever they are preaching, you hear Tim, what do you hear out of Tim's mouth a lot? You hear the P-files and don't hurt the children. Da, da, da. All I'm saying, I'm going to leave this right here. All I'm saying is that Lori, this is the best example. She was like blaming my Uncle Charles. She was saying that he was cheating, that he was the bad guy. And I'm not saying whatever, just whatever. There's just more grown up ways of going about things, more civil ways about going about things. And so whatever Lori is accusing you of doing is usually what she's doing. It's what she was doing. It's what she was doing. So now apply the same concept to Tim and what he says he's fighting, right? He's just, they're doing this and this and this and this and this. Think about the pheromones. Think about all the weird talk, okay? And the children, and the children, and the children, and Janet Rousson, whatever, the psychic lady, she's victim blaming. And she's saying stuff like, and now these women, all they want is just money. And so they're going to get $5 million a piece. And I'm like, good Lord. She was basically telling them how they're going to spend it. I hope they spend it instead of taking it away from these children. I'm like, what children? What children? Please tell me where the children are. Show me. That's all we're asking, is to show. It's called transparency. I don't know if they know what that is. I don't think so. For they claim to be so visionary. You can't see through shit. It don't work. I suck in math, but the math don't math. And the other, that ties in with Tom Harrison. Tom Harrison he birthed this toilet paper roll right here. Literacy, right? Anybody can write a book. Visions of Glory, right? And I mean, so in the publication I read, or the article I read last week from Goel, there was talk of, let me go grab it. There was talk of, I can't talk and think and move at the same time. I'm not, I'm not coordinated like that. Let's see. Maybe, what? I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure it was this one. It was, let me see. Let me just kind of read down. Because he goes and names all the people in the alleged, like here's M. Russell Ballard. Okay. And the title of it is, the title of it is Connections, or it says Connections with no X. Ties between alleged Church of Satan members and the LDS hierarchy. Okay. Let me share my screen so I'm not staring up my nose or anything. All my gray hairs and stuff. Okay. I think I'm hidden. All right. Okay. So this says Connections, ties between alleged Church of Satan members and the LDS hierarchy. Over the course of the year and 4 months, IRA has documented multiple connections between the LDS Church of Satan group outlined by David Lee Hamblin's daughters. Okay, that's the Hamblin daughters. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints leadership. Those connections are the topic of this article. And so, again, I don't want to read all this because his publications are long. I suggest you go and subscribe like I am right here. It's investigations in RA. And it even, look, I think you can even push a button and it'll read it for you. Well, it does on my phone. Anyways. So here's Garrett Gong. All right. He's, I forget what he is. Oh, he's a member of the Quorum of the 12. Okay. This is just allegedly. So I'm not making any accusations. This is just through his investigations and his research. Okay. But notice this last name right here too. This is important. Anderson. Okay. All right. just hold on to that. So that he says that cult referred to itself as the Church of Satan or the group. Okay, so you can call it the group or the church. CS is what it goes by. See, like right here, he has CS member. Okay, the Sisters of Affection, Karma Rose, Bell, and that's that hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil thing, the monkey thing. Okay, then you have Rachel, Eliza, and Catherine. They're Hamblin's daughters. They're David Hamblin and Rosie's daughters. Okay, and actually Rosie's in jail right now with no bond. And David was, and he's out. And he is a medicine man. He is a therapist who lost his license, or turned it, whatever the hell. He can't. He's not supposed to be doing any kind of therapy anymore. But yet here he is. There is reports on Fox 13 News of Brett Bluth. Let me pull that up. Give you some context. And then you'll kind of know who I'm talking about. A lot of you do, but yeah, somebody put on Reddit, they put, why is no one talking about this? Right? And survivor Brett Bluth said he met the therapist through a referral from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to cure him of his homosexuality. Okay? It's not just isolated to Jody and all these people, okay? Not just this little concentrated. There are many, and it's bad. There's some culpability here, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. So see, it even made Court TV. Arrest made in Utah, ritualistic. This is what caught my attention years ago, back in 2020. It was after I'd ran across the investigation into Operation Underground Railroad, and then this happened, or this came onto my radar, and I was like, wait, what? So let's watch this real quick.
The Utah County Sheriff's Office has arrested its first suspect in a ritualistic child sex abuse investigation, but they think there will be more arrests. Fox 13 News investigative reporter Adam Herbetz has been following this story all year. He joins us live in studio with this evening's update. Adam.
Yeah, Bob, we have been accumulating information on this man, David Hamblin, since February. Today, the sheriff's office confirmed its investigation does not stop with his arrest. There are still multiple victims, multiple suspects. Each story is different, but the common thread is that the allegation
for me was far more damaging than the actual sexual abuse.
And I can sense the fear in the voice of some of these people who have called us.
Sergeant Spencer Cannon with the Utah County Sheriff's Office says investigators have listened to more than 130 tips, most of them credible, but he could not say how many mentioned Hamblin. The case has been open since April of last year, but this year, also in April, a new female victim came forward, helping the sheriff's office get to the point where they felt ready to make an arrest. Do you expect there will be additional arrests?
We do at some point, yes. Yeah, this is it's very active. We have victims we're still working with, and so we anticipate that we'll have other arrests to make in this case.
Even though Hamblin was arrested in Utah County, the Juab County Attorney's Office will be handling this case. You might remember for the past few months, we've explained how Utah County Attorney David Levitt named himself as a suspect and described his link to Hamblin. Tomorrow, we'll have more on that part of the story. But for now, live in studio, Adam Herbets, Fox 13 News.
That's what I'm saying. The crazy doesn't stop just with Lori and Chad and that little that little circle, or they just got caught. That's all. That's it. They're part of like this whole, it's like a mob. And it's like big fish, little fish. You know, a lot of people say that Alex is the fall guy in Lori and Chad's case and my family's murders. But that's not it at all. It is, if you just tunnel right down just to them and pinpoint just them. Yes, sure. Yeah. I mean, they are ultimately responsible for their actions, inactions, anything that they did to conspire, confederate, all those things, meeting of the minds to carry on this, whatever the hell is directing them to do this, whomever their leaders are, whomever their superiors or authoritarian figures are, that is who I'm after. Okay. Now, again, Elder Ballard died last month, November 12th, right as the shit hit the fan. Yeah. He was 95 years old, though. So, catches up with you. In the whiteboard meeting, so far, and I mean, this is just my notes. And I mean, before the Tim Ballard stuff, any of Lynn, Lynn Packer's work, that's all I knew. That's basically all I knew, besides a few little things here and there, about, certain people. And it's just, so far, this is my tally. The people named at the whiteboard meeting before everybody started, coming out and, hey, sharing their side of the story. I only kind of pictured being at the whiteboard meeting was Tim Ballard, and maybe I pictured Elder Ballard. Okay. That's just me. My speculation is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. Allegedly. So, but so far I've watched multiple interviews of all these folks. Okay. So far I've got Glenn Beck was there. Janet Russin. She names herself. Uh-oh. I just heard something fall. Hold on. Let me mute it. Let me holler. Oh, I don't know. My boys. Something fell. But anyways, I'm sorry. It scared me. Yeah, every individual is solely responsible for their actions. No demon, no devil. Oh, it moved. No zombie. You, the individual, is responsible. No religious free pass. Exactly. No, like what David Hamblin just said. I can't say that nothing in my body didn't do it. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Bullshit. So, all right. Janet Russin names herself at the whiteboard meeting. along with that guy named Kay, okay, the Hawaiian guy. They don't really say, Paul Hutchinson just kind of mentions Elder Ballard, but he doesn't quite say it, he just kind of mentions it, and then he says it, and where it can be implied, but then you're like, well, I can't imply it, I can't just assume that. Russell Brunson was there because he named himself as, he was like, well, Elder Ballard called me, and he's the guy that owns ClickFunnels. He's the guy that was like, no, I was there. He's the only one that I know that was like, yeah, Elder Ballard called me. How Lynn Packer says it, he says, who needs friends when you have, who needs enemies when you have someone like Russell Brunson? Anyways, Paul Hutchinson, it was at his house. So yes, he was there. I would say that maybe Dave Lopez was there because, it's kind of, he's been cooperating with the investigation. Who was it? Paul Hutchinson mentions that he was like, I don't know, Tim had his bishop there, because he says it weird. He's like, his bishop there, and his uncle, or some uncle, he says, and you just kind of start to see it kind of fill out, and you're like, okay. And that's just the 2019 whiteboard meeting. That's not the 2017 meeting that was held in secret, that the prophet of the Mormon church just happened to say, yeah, I'm going to pass. And so he didn't go. He's the only one that didn't go. Okay. Because all 12 of the apostles, which are the top dudes of the Mormon church, allegedly were present. Okay. For this meeting in 2017. I'm like, wait, whoa. And then there were like allegedly 3 or 4, or let me say 3, allegedly, apostles that invested in the for-profit slave stealers that everything was going to funnel into. Okay. Oh, thank you. I don't know how to say your name. Ellie's Wit. Ellie's Wit. Oh, I'm glad to have you here. Okay. So this is much bigger, but anyways, back to David Hamblin. I know. Okay. But they're gonna, I feel like they're gonna work. They're going, and they have, we have Tom Harrison. Okay. And Goel's the report that I read the other day. Let me just say it. He said that, and he had said it before when Tim Ballard got excommunicated September 15th of 2023. I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun. He had, wrote an article. I shared it with you guys that day here. So September 15th, live stream. And he wasn't sure. He still had to vet it out. Like he had to make sure that these sources were, you know what I mean? He had to make sure that they were credible sources and everything. And yeah, he said it then that Gordon Bowen, and I'm not trying to send everybody into a freaking frenzy. Please hold your brains. Okay. Don't react. Not every action deserves your reaction. Okay. Sometimes that's fine. Anyways. But there was talk that Gordon Bowen, this dude who is the Church of Satan, alleged Church of Satan Punisher, the Punisher, this guy, Gordon Bowen, who the church paid $20 million to make a Jesus movie, a movie about Jesus. And if you just go watch Lynn Packer's report on, the title of it is Satanic Ritual Abuse, I think. You'll see it. It stands out. And I was like, whoa, what? Because I mean, I understand. This is my hunch. This is where my gut has told me this is for religious purposes. Whatever that may be, it ain't right. Okay. Because if it ends in murder, if it ends in Ruby Frankie's 2 children being tortured the way that they were, Jesse Hildebrandt, you've got Adam Steed, who was preyed upon, Brett Bluth, we just heard about, the Hamblin daughters, Tylee and JJ. You have all these victims. Some are here to talk. Some are trying to talk but are being silenced. Some we're trying to just pick it up. I'm just trying to do it justice. I suck, but I'm trying. And why? And then we get labeled as, I get shadow banned all the damn time. All the time. So I try to, some days I'm just like, oh well, screw it. And then I'm like, okay, be realistic though. Nobody can see you if you're being shadow banned and silenced, that's ultimately what it is. But there's a lot of this perversion and nastiness going on. We see it. We're not blind at all. We see straight through their asses, okay? And all the other stuff is, we can sit there and micro compartmentalize like I think that they're taught to do. That's what they do to their victims, allegedly. I think they try to instill that fear in them and just make them dissociate. Okay, you hear that over and over and over again in all these cases where, I mean, I tend to a little bit too, and I mean, I have nothing to do. Let me not even go there, but I mean, I freeze. Whatever. It just left me. Fight, flight, or freeze. Whatever it is. Okay. Anyways, and so I don't know if Sean Reyes was at the whiteboard meeting or not, and I know I moved over. Okay, but yeah. So allegedly, Gordon Bowen wrote the hit piece, so to speak. He wrote the statement, okay, for Vice News, and the church was like, and I find that so gross. I find that alarming. Gordon Bowen is excommunicated. He is allegedly a R-wordist. He's and oh my God, I can't read the report to you because it's bad. I think I did it here one time, or it might have been Goel when he was on a podcast. I need to ask him and see if he'll come on. And I don't know why I didn't do that before when I talked to him. I should have. I don't think about that. I don't think of myself like that and to host anybody or whatever. But yeah, exposure is what's going to do it. And if we just don't give up and we just keep on, what else? Well, I mean, I'm doing it for them and all the other ones, silent and listen have the same letters, and it's different, when you want to be silent, but it's a mofo and it sucks whenever you are being silenced. You're not even being acknowledged. Anything that you went through, and in fact, you're getting blamed. They're blaming these victims. How dare you speak out? And then they get punished even more. Not even just by their own, what do you call it? Predators or whatever I don't know the words right now. They're fleeing me. But you're being punished by society for speaking out. Why you gotta, start all kinds of turmoil here, everything was fine. No, everything's not fine. Hello, get out of your bubble. And so we're dealing with the narcissist parent, and a lot of these narcissist type people who are very, very, very all about themselves, you know, and it's like if you have to split it into two camps, you have the abusers and the abused. Okay. But okay, how do we resolve this? It's already gotten out of hand this much longer. And the other thing, I gotta go to it. Let me go back to it. Let me find it. Because I wish I knew it verbatim. I wish I remembered things, but that's kind of with my trauma. It took my short-term memory. Bye-bye. It went away. All right, let me try and find M. Russell Ballard again. It's just short, this big. But then I got to get off of this one to go back to the other one to tell you about Tom Harrison. M. Russell Ballard. Okay, so this is M. Russell Ballard's alleged ties to the Church of Satan and the LDS hierarchy. Okay. I know. The good and evil meet. Okay. M. Russell Ballard. Ballard was another of the 4 quorum members who allegedly Bowen to oversee the church's film project on Jesus Christ, a production that ended with a disastrous screening at Bowen's home in Salt Lake. Ballard repeatedly dismissed multiple warnings about Bowen's behavior and failure to reform. Sources indicate that Ballard viewed Gordon Bowen as a prodigal son, or prodigal, I don't know how to say it, and refused to sever ties with Bowen, even though Bowen's violations of church doctrine and covenants continued throughout the years. Then he has like Boyd K. Packer. Oh, I forget. I can share it with y'all. Let me go hide myself behind here. Okay. See, and then you see names like I don't even know how to say this, but Marcos Adakaitis. I say things and like when I read them, it's like I get it, but then when I go to say them, I'm like, oh no. Anyways, a general is a general authority and brother of Nelson, whatever. Dean and Bell Van Wagenen. I've heard this name before, for sure. I've seen it on Floodlit. Excuse me. Lincoln Kevin Kelly. Okay. Kelly worked under Gordon Bowen at Bonneville. That's owned by the church, and left Bonneville with Bowen after Bowen was fired to decamp to Ogilvy and Mather. It's like ad agencies. It's kind of interesting because I was watching Mormon Stories the other night about Nicola, because I knew he wove in somewhere in here, and he does. I mean, not in this story, but in this group, this brood of people, this, I don't know what to call them, the CS, Church of Satan. I don't know. Satanists? What do you call these people? The dark ones? Or are they the if you're biblical or you read into that, is it the Nephilim? What is this? What are they? Who are they? What are they doing? I mean, you look at Coco Coco Birthman or whatever. You look at Marisol Nichols, you look at Tim Ballard and Sean Reyes and all these alpha males and just, it's a different brood of people. I don't know. They got more energy than I do. That's for sure. Ken Krogh, all these people. It's a lot. And I'm just like, what? I'm baffled by them. Okay, let's see. And Bunting, that's another, let's see. Bunting succeeded him. Okay, Robinson would be accused a third time in 2018 of A-wording missionaries, and he committed S-word 2 months later. All right, Bunting, I know this last name, succeeded him, even though the Hamblin sisters alleged that he had been a member of the church, a member of the LDS Church of Satan with a seat on the Provo Church of Satan High Council. In that capacity, Bunting oversaw the excommunication of their father, David Lee Hamblin, from the Church of Satan in 1999. And at the close of that ceremony, the sisters were R-worded by their grandfather, Richard Lloyd Anderson, and other members of the CS, Church of Satan, who were present at the hearing, including John Bunting. All right. Bunting served until September 20th, 2015. Oh, look at that name. That made me laugh. Fluckager. I mean, it's got my favorite word in there. Anyways, I can't read all this because this is just demonetization veal. So, investigations in ritual A word continues to map out the connections between the named individuals in the Hamblin victim statements and the LDS hierarchy, as well as the families within Provo and Utah, whose money, power, and status have afforded them the ability to suppress similar A-word allegations over the years. If you have any tips about the individuals named in this article or any of our other articles, direct them to 1830GOL, one word, at gmail.com. Okay. And yeah. Oh, these are the other stories. Okay. I gotta try and figure out which one I've read. Just give me 1 second. This week. Let me just go backwards here. Maybe it had to be this one then. Yep. I remember how it starts out. Okay, let me go find. So Gordon Bowen married in his 40s. He married a widow who her name is Barbara Timothy. And Lynn Packer reported on this. And that's how I initially learned about Gordon Bowen. You know, at first I was like, okay, he looks like a damn circus clown. Okay. Anyways, but then now I'm like, okay, you got my attention. All right. Because it very much ties in. I mean, there is reports of the girls, and I'm going to mess it up, but you know, they were brought into allegedly, and the Hamblin girls were brought by Rosie as a form of offering, because David had messed up in the Church of Satan, whatever, he did something. And so she offered her daughters up. She walked out. She left them there with Gordon, allegedly, and Gordon showed them, allegedly, all his tools and torture devices. And, you know, it reminds me of the Frankie children, very much reminiscent of that. And then proceeded, it gets worse. So yeah, I'm sorry, trigger warning. I should have said, just when you come here, trigger warning. But there in their statements, it says something about whenever he showed the Hamlin girls his shop, allegedly, that there was a dead man hanging from the ceiling, and he had been, what they said was professionally or by an expert, skinned. Okay. And there was skin from other human beings draped over some mannequins or something, and like dried out. Anyways, and it was stitched together. And so this is allegedly Gordon Bowen, who wrote the public excommunication of Tim Ballard to Vice News. The church backed it, and they haven't backed down from it. I actually got the lady Peggy, she owns the Salt Lake Tribune or whatever. She's on that Mormon Land podcast or whatever, and I got her saying a bunch of times, reinforcing, and it's her and a guy, and they're talking about the statement, you know, from the church about Tim, and they reaffirm, and I'm just like, But I mean, it makes it so different and weird coming from Gordon Bowen, knowing both Tim and Gordon were close to Russell Ballard, who just passed away last month. And it just, I don't know. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you think, because it's disturbing to me. So now I'm going to show you how he is connected with Tom Harrison. Here we go. So we're just kind of cutting in here. I'll start here. Over the years, Bowen had struggled to pay his bills despite raking in millions. He threw lavish parties, contracting for the services of vendors and caterers, but he was delinquent in paying everyone from the gardeners and landscapers to the caterers. Excuse me. It was not until he secured equity in McGarry Bowen that he obtained the kind of financial security that would enable him to stabilize his life. At McGarry Bowen, Bowen relied on the services of a company bookkeeper to help him pay down his debts and manage his finances. During his divorce, those finances were opaque at best. He was a brilliant advertising executive on one hand, generating millions of dollars in revenue with his ability to sell clients on ideas Bowen pilfered from others. But he was unable to competently manage his own money. He was a faithful and devoted Latter-day Saint, but he was also homosexual and a pedophile and an addict. When it came to gay male escorts and hardcore gay P-word, he was a high-functioning executive who owned equity in a successful advertising agency. But he was also a man who believed female spirits were causing his homosexuality. He wrote of his sins being foreordained. Okay, I told you last week, this is basically, you talk to Jesus, you're like preordained before you come into this life, okay? And that's something that Mike Stroud teaches us. I think it's just mainly a mainstream belief, you know? I mean, anyways, he wrote of his sins being foreordained in his journal so that he could learn secret codes and combinations, all as part of a mission he felt he had to serve on the part of God within the church that had excommunicated him. Sometimes I have a hard time reading this one. Anyways, Bowen was never rebaptized, yet the church retained his services on marketing matters, right here, and reportedly funded a movie production for $20 million, which was delegated to Bowen, even though he was excommunicated and disgraced individual. So, Lynn Packer had reported on that. I do believe that Lynn Packer and Goel here, I think they exchanged notes. Anyways, when Tim Ballard was pilloried by Vice, sources indicated that Gordon Bowen wrote the press release. The church media's offer. Oh my gosh. When Tim Ballard was pilloried by Vice, sources indicated that Gordon Bowen wrote the press release the church's media officer sent to Vice condemning Ballard for his immoral activities and it's too long, and utilizing the name of M. Russell Ballard to fundraise. Whew, jeez. The reality that Gordon Bowen had traded on M. Russell Ballard's name for years and the reputation of the church was apparently irrelevant to those within the church who sought to do damage control where Tim Ballard was concerned. A plausible explanation for Bowen's contradictions was proffered by Tom Harrison during Bowen's divorce. Tom Harrison had provided therapy to Bowen and his estranged wife, Barbara Timothy. And the affidavits and testimonials he offered posited that Bowen had a dissociative disorder. Okay. Tom Harrison was a subject of the book Visions of Glory, detailing his near-death experiences and his allegedly miraculous visitation from Jesus Christ. Now, this is code word, in my opinion. This is second comforter talk. This is Lori saying, I met Jesus Christ in the temple. Okay. That's code talk. That is what happens when one gets their second anointing. That's my perspective. You're welcome to do your own research and find out. Okay. That's what it is. And so that's when you become exalted. You can be sealed. That's how they practice polygamy, in my opinion, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Okay. So that to me stands out like a sore thumb. Anytime there's Jesus talk, and I'm like, yeah, well, you've had your calling and election made sure. You've been exalted. You have a free pass. And it's not just saved, in my opinion. It's not just saved for high-ranking members and big donors, and I mean, they're everywhere, right? There's a list of them. Anyways, of wealthy donors. I'm joking, but there's also what I would see as a bargaining chip. Like, hey, I'll sell you eternity because you believe in me. I'm your leader. I'm your leader, and you trust everything that I'm saying to you. And oh, okay, I'm really sadistic, and I don't know, I like doing weird shit to little kids sometimes. Oh, you got kids? Bring them, bring them. We love children. Okay, that's the sense I get. Without me, I'm sorry, but that's I'm I try to be subtle, and I suck at it because I should just have come out a long time ago and said what I think it is. It's really hard to say, and it's not nice. It's not something you just go saying, because people label you, they judge you, they shadow ban you, they murder you, they do all kinds of things. Okay, people don't react the same as me. If they did, then we'd be okay. I'd get over it. I just want to be real. Anyways, all right, I'll shut up. A plausible explanation for Bowen's contradictions was proffered by Tom Harrison during his divorce. Tom Harrison had provided therapy to Bowen and his estranged wife, Barbara Timothy. In the affidavits and testimonials he offered, that don't make sense. He posited that Bowen had a dissociative disorder. Tom Harrison was the subject of the book Visions of Glory, detailing his near-death experience and his allegedly miraculous visitation from Jesus Christ. The book was a sensation within the Latter-day Saint universe. It still is, so I don't like the past tense thing. And those who extolled it, such as Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow, and Jody Hildebrandt, would go on to infamy, resulting in a savage takedown of Harrison by Mormon stories that drove him into seclusion. Now, this bothered me at first. I was like, yay, that means we're winning. No, we're not winning. So this is, if you continue to hide in the cavity of a rock and never face reality, then we are going to continue, because this person here, Harrison, he's acting like a victim. He's doing the persecution complex. They're picking on me, and I can't handle the criticism, and I just can't face things on head first. Just like, here, come on, I'm ready for my beating. Okay, not even a beating. You know what I mean? My lashing, my tongue lashing. Here, I should have been there. I should have rang the bell. If I'm not actually involved in some weird shit that I think is righteous, because that's what I'm taught. Okay, that's what I'm taught here. Pain is good. It's very twisted. And so if we don't get this fixed soon, holy crap. This way of thinking, and it's not just apparent in Tom Harrison, it's apparent in a lot of them. Okay. This weird logic. I've seen it in Melanie Gibb. I've seen it in David Warwick, where they justify these things. Lori Daybell, Chad Daybell, Tim Ballard, Sean Reyes, Glenn Beck, Paul Hutchinson. You can see it in every Coco Berthman. You can see it in every one of them, where it's just like, well, it's justifying the end. I don't ever know how to say that thing. I'll always mess it up. Before he retreated into seclusion. Why? Harrison reportedly spoke to another individual about Gordon Bowen. So this is corroboration, I think. He allegedly condemned Bowen as a pedophile and Satanist, and claimed that he had told church officials about Bowen's proclivities. Harrison also alleged that Bowen had threatened him during Bowen's divorce proceedings, when he was divorcing. Him and Barbara Timothy were divorcing. What's interesting is that, Bowen being a gay man, but like he went to, like, David Hamblin was his therapist, Kissy Watkins, Melvin Fish, they're both deceased, okay, but one of them, they're like energy healers, and these new age, I don't really know what to call them. But I remember hearing Melvin Fish and Kissy Watkins names in the in the circle that like Chad and Lori were in, Michelle McDermott and David Warwick, which David Warwick and Tom are friends. Okay. So they were going to conferences before Chad came along. It's just rinse and repeat. It's rinse, wash, rinse, and repeat. And you see how forthcoming they are. They're not very forthcoming people. All right. Harrison also according to those who know him, Harrison is described as an extremely sensitive individual with a soft demeanor. One who had a profound set of experiences that compelled him to dictate his visions into book form. And that's where we get John Pontius came in and was the ghostwriter for Tom Harrison. Tom Harrison goes under the pseudonym Spencer. Okay. But then in the beginning of this Visions of Glory book, he says, I'm responsible for everything in this book, basically. I'm paraphrasing. And then I'm like, but you're not, Spencer. Okay. Because nobody freaking knows your last name because you're not even man enough to put your damn name on your book. Put your name on your book. Quit being a puss. Okay. There you go. Sorry. You know what I'm saying, though. All right. Now, think back to whenever Lauren Matthias, Hidden True Crime, and Megan Connor, which is Lori's cousin, and Mindy Caldwell, they were on Mormon Stories podcast, and they talked about Visions of Glory, Tom Harrison, the prepper, whatever. And just think back to all the things that were coming out then. And that's when Tim Ballard's lawsuit had just, the lawsuit against Tim Ballard had came out. And they were talking about how Tom Harrison, Ken Krogh, Hugh Vail, Sherston Stockwell, who was OUR, she was an OUR employee, was invited out to Thanksgiving Point, Utah, which is this like theme park. Okay. It freaks me out. Okay. When you just put all this together, all these people doing really weird shit and then justifying it. But then they're ingesting allegedly like peyote and, cacao, ketamine, all these things. Then I'm going to run you over to JJ's remains. Well, Tylee's remains. We don't know. We don't even know what the child was freaking murdered. We don't know her cause of death. We just know that she was murdered. But, in JJ's toxicology, there is GHB. I don't really think that's supposed to be in there. Okay. I know there's certain levels of certain things, and I'm going to dig into that. But there's just some things don't go. She wasn't giving him his medication for his autism and his ADHD. So for months, she hadn't gotten it filled since January, and this was September of 2019. So that's like 9 months. Okay. I mean, I'm sure my uncle was giving JJ his medicine, but he died. So just I'm just, for those of, that don't, I know I'm hard to follow. I know I am, but it's just like, here's the stuff. Here's the pieces. And I mean, I'll do my best. I'm trying. It's just, I don't know where everybody's at. And I do a lot of double explaining. Like I've read this last week, but it just makes me scratch my head because there's something here. Let me finish this little paragraph. Let me finish Tom Harrison. He's sensitive. Okay. Book form. He would not be the only individual in his immediate circle drawing spiritual insight and inspiration from deeply traumatic experiences. Harrison had been one of the church's original point men on the topic of what? Ritual abuse during the so-called what? Satanic panic. Interesting. He had advised high-level LDS officials in their response and reported his dismay at their unwillingness to accept his recommendations to confront ritual abuse as a valid phenomenon. Why? What is he? CIA? Which I'm not. I'm just saying. There's some weird shit that I have found weird shit. And I'm just like, why are all these people so hard to research? Where does all their stuff go? How come it gets scrubbed so fast? It's bullshit, really. And I'm not crazy. And they're not going to gaslight me and make me think that I am. And that's how I feel about that. But that Tim sits on the board of directors for, I'm looking for the damn screenshot. It should be right here. Afghanistan Foundation something. I'm looking for it. But I mean, he sits on the board. It's him, There's no mistaking him. Anyways, I'm not gonna be able to find it. All right. Oh yeah, but he sits on a board, Afghanistan Foundation something.org or no. Yeah, let me shut up because I'm just gonna mess it up a great deal. It's not one of my good days, I guess. Okay. So and reported his dismay at their unwillingness to accept his recommendations to confront ritual, as a valid phenomenon. And now think about Janet Russin, and how Blaze Media reported their whole spiel on Janet Russin, the psychic, and she is talking about freaking Nephi, their prophet. She is. She can sit there and lie on that podcast or whatever that makes it on Salt Lake Tribune front page the next day with less than 4,000 views on this little bitty channel over there. The Last Dispensation is the name of the channel. I don't understand it. It just doesn't compute for me. And just a lot of these things don't compute, and it's just weird and sketchy, and it's unnerving, really. But, Blaze Media, which is owned by Glenn Beck, puts out this whole long ass news story about Janet Russin and her part in her role in these alleged rescue missions where they're saving all these trafficked children. Where are they? And I have a video clip of Tim Ballard speaking. This is way before Lori happened, Lori and Chad happened. And Tim Ballard speaking in front of a group of people. And he says something to the tune of, I did some research. I did my own research. And he said, there's this guy. It's like, okay, so you didn't do your own research. You went to Tom Harrison. So he mentions Tom Harrison's name. And then he's like, he talks about pheromones and all the chemicals, oxytocin, serotonin, all the good chemicals that you get from serving, quote unquote, from serving. And it basically, to me, he looks like a crackhead, because he's just like, what is this, and he's just all spastic. And I'm like, that's weird. It's just weird. You're just weird. But Tim names Tom Harrison, and he says that he's a brain specialist, and Tom works on all the rescued children's brains, for their healing. And I'm like, where are these children that you are allegedly rescuing? Where are they? And where's your numbers? Where is your receipts? Yeah, I know I don't need to know their names, but it would be nice for not so much shady shit going on. Or with all the shady shit going on, it would be nice to just see some kind of good come from it. But I have not seen one good thing. Yeah, no. Nothing has been positive. It's all been exploitative and gross. Anyways, this was despite. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Some 50 years into his career, Harrison would feel that his reputation and life's work were in ruins, even as his old nemesis Gordon Bowen retained his position as the church's point man. in the public takedown of Tim Ballard. This was despite Bowen's status as an excommunicated and former member. And 40 years after Tom Harrison and others had reportedly advised the church to confront ritual abuse as a real and valid phenomenon. Okay, I remember now. Ritual abuse would burst back into the headlines with the David Lee Hamblin case, an issue that could and arguably should have been quashed decades prior, was now in full public view again. Ritual abuse was not going away. The Hamblin case implicated dozens of individuals, many holding high-level callings within the church. Worse still, a reported 175 victims and counting came forward in the Utah County Sheriff's investigation into David Lee Hamblin and his accomplices. The dividends of the church's failure to confront ritual abuse and to confront the seedy subcultures of private revelation, I don't think it's just that, among Latter-day Saints burst into view in other ways as well, with the story of Mormon preppers and apocalyptic survivalists such as Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. This is the first time he named them in here. And I was like, oh my God. All right. These were individuals who were ready to hasten the apocalypse by whatever means necessary, unhinged in their belief that they had received profound private revelations that supplanted and even replaced all earlier revelations. And see, again, I think it's higher up in the food chain. There's a shot caller. Anyways, the fruits of their revelation were horrifying: murdered children and family members. Time and time again, the failures of individuals in high-level callings to address and stamp out heresy within the church had yielded devastating consequences. The church's reputation was dented, but more importantly, the faith of the plain and simple individuals who had trusted the church was in tatters. Victims saw the church as more concerned with its own image. Yep. Than with rooting out the satanic influence of men like Gordon Bowen and David Lee Hamblin. Okay, so he just wraps it up there. But it's just interesting because that's the first time I saw, Tom Harrison. He's connecting the things that, I'm kind of combing through. I've been combing through when I can. Initially, it was hard to get into this case. I was drawn to it, but it was so hard to read the things. So basically, Go L, this guy here who writes about this and investigates into the case, and it's active and open as of still today. And as he has been writing about them, it's kind of made them come to life for me, so to speak, and more consumable, So I do appreciate him for that. And I really suggest you go and subscribe. I'm trying to, good God. Okay. So like right here, those relationships have proven beneficial to Gordon Bowen, who was on the cusp of inserting himself into the nonprofit board that oversees the production of the hit series The Chosen. What is it with all these actors and actresses and stuff? And Jesus movies, the Icon movie, Sound of Freedom, Abolitionist. What's up with that? I mean, they already have 2 more. There's one coming out allegedly about near-death experience and Captain Moroni. So everybody warrior up because we're going to be bursting even more at the seams, Okay, I'm trying to, there's this one little spot. I'm like, oh. No, it was on the new one. Okay. Okay, that's enough for now. I've done botched everything up. Anyways. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay. If we ever find yourself with a meeting with any of what people? I want to know. Huh? Oh, I was like, I thought you were telling me to go back and look. What? Anyways, I know it does freak some people out. And I mean, I get it. I was like, what? and it's the only way. It's what the victims call it, Church of Satan, and then it's how you differentiate the wheat from the tares, the good from the bad, the ones who are posing as good Latter-day Saints but doing some horrible shit. Or, how do you weed those people out when they claim to be you or be a Latter-day Saint, so it's like I don't know, it's very difficult. That's the name of this channel, difficult research. There's nothing easy about this. You're confused? Well, because you said right here, Crush it, if we ever find yourself with a meeting with any of the people, we need to try and interview a lot of people. I will do everything in my power to go with you anytime you need a something. Yeah. So I was like, what? I mean, I'm just, trying to clarify, I guess. I also, oh, you just reminded me. Thank you. I have an email that I need to respond to that they claim to work for OUR. I don't know if they do. It could be a troll or whatever, but I won't know unless I reach out again. Reach out. Sorry. I'm putting check email. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Not atheists. Not atheists making fun of Satan. Actual people who think they are worshiping Satan, no matter if Satan exists or not. Exactly. It does in their mind, and therefore it comes out in their fruits or whatever. Right there. They think they're worshiping Jesus, and they're in fact not. Whether you believe in him or not, it really doesn't matter. One of them, there's like good morals and good line of thinking. That's not going to get people murdered and hurt and cuckoo. And then there's, the left-hand path or the right-hand path. I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to make sense of it. I'm not very good at talking about it, and it's hard enough already talking about it. And then having to say all the things and the sources and where I got this from. And it leads me to, I have ADHD, and I mean, y'all know, squirrels. And it sucks. Plus the trauma, plus just being on here. It's pressure. It's a little difficult. But anywho, I'm glad y'all came by, and we'll do a live stream Sunday, just about whatever. I don't know. I get like this. I get like this when I'm trying to do what everybody else wants to do. I'm usually way back here by myself because everybody can go ahead. This is just how I work. When I'm onto something though, I will, it's like one of my feet are screwed to the floor, and I will just turn in a circle, and I won't go nowhere because there's something here, whatever it is, and so it'll break loose, and then I'll catch up. That's usually what I do. Talking about religion and politics lately. Oh my God. Politics, religion, and murder, child murder. I mean, and high profile case. It has all of those tick, 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 and it's hard. This is hard. It's hard. I mean, I really do care. I really do care. I genuinely care about people. It'll never bring them back. But I want the world to be better because it makes their deaths not in vain. Thank you, little Brands. You're so sweet. Thank you. You and your hubby. I appreciate it. But it makes their lives, their deaths not be in vain. It makes, Blaze Thibodeau, Lori's name being mentioned in the damn court papers. There's another court case in Colorado. Okay. And it mentions it too, and I can't talk about them. But it's starting to, kind of, it's an indicator, and that's good. Okay. That means people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey. Being more self-aware, more aware. I appreciate it. Oh, resilient, right? That's my middle name, girl. You paint, Lily? I do. I used to. I miss painting. It was stuff I painted all over the damn place. I went through a period of time where, because I used to paint, just abstract, just whatever. Nothing beautiful, nothing. I never took art classes or anything. Didn't even know I was artistic. Mom laughed at me. She made a joke one day and she said, because there's me and JJ, and she was like, oh, she was like, I have one that's artistic and one that's autistic. And I was like, you're silly. Haha. And I'm probably artistic and autistic, but anyways. And my mom's like, she's like, I can't even draw a stick person. And I'm like, me neither. But I have surprised myself. But yeah, there was a period of time where because I hadn't painted in so long, because this case happened, all the murders, deaths, and everything, and like all these things that I had, they were just painted white, like back to the canvas, back to the drawing board, clean slate. I was like, oh my God. I just kind of looked around one day. I did paint them white, base coat, but I never could put color to it again. So I want to get back into it. That to me it's physical. It's going and doing. I mean, I'm going to die like this, really. I'm miserable in my own body. But so it's time. So 2024, I got to move around so I can live. So I can live and visit with y'all, I used to be tiny. I'm always whole ass though. It's always way like this or I got too skinny. It's just never a comfortable medium. Let me show y'all some pictures of me when I was smaller. Really? That's not it. Okay. Oh God, 7 years ago, right? Way the hell back here, past Lori. Before Lori. Dang, it's way back. Oh, no, it's not. Come on. Catch up. Let's see. This was right after. Wait. Hold on. Thank you, moderators. Beach Bum. If Mary's here, thank you. And Trace on the case. And Donna. Madonna. My Donna. Get it? Haha. Okay. But, oh well, I'm not going to be able to find. I can't ever find anything when it's time. I bought a yearbook thinking it was Uncle Charles's. And it was Mom and Uncle Jerry's year. I was like, damn it. It was $90. You put up a 23-year-old New Year's photo up on my Facebook wearing a 2000 headband. You go, girl. Lotion up and move, girl. I know, right? Oh, I'm miserable. I feel like it's in my yeah. Anyways, not dogging myself. I'm being real. I'm all about it. Especially when you gotta look back at yourself. It just is hard. It's another hurdle. Another damn hurdle. I think that Uncle Charles was even kind of like that, even though I thought, he was a handsome guy, and a lot of people think that he's a handsome man. It's how we view ourselves too. We say we love ourselves, but do we? Do we really just have those. I know I don't. I don't fully, like I love other people. It's different when you're like self-serving like these people, you know. Holy crap. That's too much. What do y'all call it? Grandiose and stuff. Oh, I can't really find. That picture's too tiny. Let's see. Yeah, I finally found the whole one of the one I have on. Let's see. That's not it. Ta-da! Right. Okay. Share this one. It's so little. That's me. Anyways. Okay. Oh, I pushed the back button twice. Am I gonna get stuck? If I do, oh well. Here's that guy, Arthur Knight, aka Nicholas Rossi, who's they're trying to extradite from Scotland or England to here. That's who David Levitt's looking for. Oh my gosh. Oh, grandma and grandpa. Okay. All right. Well, I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I hope y'all had a really good Christmas. I'm trying to find my way back over there. I hope y'all had a really good Christmas, and I hope you have a wonderful New Year's. But Sunday night is New Year's, so I don't know. Should we go live Sunday? I was like, yeah, we'll be here Sunday. But I don't know. I'm ready for this to pass, right? So that we can just be normal late. I think we'll just go live. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Oh, we missed them at this time of the year. I was with them. I was with JJ and Charles for sure. It was 2018, New Year's Eve, going into 2019, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, at my Uncle Bobby's in Lafayette. JJ was there, Uncle Charles, me, Jason, our babies. Zach, my son, we had been estranged for 6 years. It was my first his birthday is January 1st. It was my first birthday with him in 6 years, his birthday. And I have that video on my channel. JJ singing happy birthday to Zachary Ryan. It's cute. He says duct tape twice, which is something I didn't pick up on until I was editing it to upload it to YouTube to share. And when you hear your nephew say duct tape, because there's some on the table, because we're in a shop. And then a year later, he's bound in duct tape, and anyways, it's a little, oh crap. Anyways, and at that same time, Lori and her friends and her lover, her side piece, were trying to, Zolima for sure was texting. They were texting each other, trying to make my uncle get in a car accident with JJ. That was while they were, we were together. They were wishing them. That's their intention. Their intent was to harm, was to push their souls out of their bodies, detach them, whatever. Okay, come at me. Anyways, it's weird when you think back at the things and you're like, wow. I just saw a little bit. But anyways, I love you guys. I hope you have a safe night. Thank you, mods. And justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins, and you guys are proof of this. Happy